Left outside alone, Big Bobby, Maltese Adole. It's Bob Stokely. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That's getting kept in. Episode 13, Season 4. Big
Alright, Walking Dead time. The final second. What are you doing?
What do you want me doing? Big fucking Bob, it's going. Episode 13, Season 4, alone. Bob doesn't like being left alone. Each group he's with, he ends up being the last.
Well, don't worry, character plot's gonna fucking stop that happening right now.
You know when you eat a packet of Maltesers and there's only one left? That's Bob. That's good old Bob.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's the first one to fucking go at the current group.
I know what a fucking spastic.
Man, I don't want to be die. I don't want to die and be left alone. Well, don't worry about that, Bob. You're gonna die and be left alone.
No,
I guess.
I mean, how many groups has he went through for this to be like a gimmick, a continuous trend? I mean,
surely 2 wouldn't be enough. 2 could be a coincidence. It would need to be 3 before you're really beginning to. Plus, I mean, all right. So we see him like wandering alone. He's just a lonely man. I'm just a lonely Bob. So Bob is all alone. Bob is wandering through the wilderness, so to speak, and we see him just planked out on top of a bus with his back on the roof, and he's just enjoying the heat, I guess, in Atlanta, or wherever they are at this point in the apocalypse. He comes across Glenn and Daryl, who I believe are out on some sort of run, and they stop him. They're like, "Hey, who are you? How many walkers have you killed?" He says he's killed at least a couple of dozen, but he stops counting and says, "How many people?" And he goes, "1. Why? She asked me to." Then Daryl looks at him and he's like, "You want to come with us?" And he's like, "Yeah, I do." And he jumps in the back of Glenn's pickup truck, or whatever it was, like truck, Range Rover. That was somewhere, something that he could jump in the back of, and they'd ride off. And it's like, I mean, wouldn't they be a little bit skeptical if this guy says he's always the last person? Why the fuck would you want him to be in your group?
Plot armor.
Even if the guy's legit, even if he just happens to be the sole survivor, be like, hold on, if we bring this guy in, we're all doomed.
Because Big Bob does what Big Bob wants, but I don't know. I think this whole gimmick of how many walkers you kill, who'd you kill, and why, I think it's cringe.
No, I think it's cringe as well, but you know what? I actually didn't mind the opening, and I think that it would have been better if they did more flashbacks in this episode with Bob, and we maybe got to see him returning to the prison and meeting Rick and meeting the group, because it maybe would have fleshed out Bob's character a bit more, and we might have cared more for him, because as soon as we get to the present time, I mean, we're like, oh, there's Bob, no one gives a shit.
I guess they've destroyed the prison, though, and they probably think, not going to rebuild the prison just for a Bob scene, are we?
Alright, but, I mean, could they not meet Rick somewhere else?
And his wee farmer patch. You want to grow some cucumbers, Bobby boy? But we could cut to the present day. We've got Bob, Sash, and Maggie. There's like fog. There's walkers. And Bob, who's the last man alive, gets bit.
Yeah, he does get bit, but thankfully for him, he got bit on the bandage. Now, last time I checked, bandages were made of like paper, kind of cotton. I mean, a bandage wouldn't stop a bite.
I wonder if Bob picked it.
A bandage wouldn't stop a bite. What the fuck is happening here? How is this bandage? I mean, no, that's just, they want you to think he's dead, but in reality he's not. That's bullshit. The walker should have bit through the fucking bandage.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm sorry. I mean,
come on.
I'm not saying it's impossible, but the way it happened, there was like a lot of blood immediately, and he was screaming as if he got bit.
Yeah.
And you heard it as if, the noise was as if it was flesh.
Yeah, but it turns out, it was just his cut reopening for the pressure on the bandage, but the teeth didn't come through the bandage. Yeah, I'm just not buying it, like.
No, I'm not buying it, but we need a better place to find camp, these three think. But they've got, the camp, the square set up. Oh, it's alright, we're safe. It's a go for Bobby boy. But Maggie whips out her compass, says it's broken. And then Bob's like, oh, don't worry, guys, because guess what? The sun rises in the east, and it sets in the west. We then cut to Daryl and Beth. Beth's being taught how to use the crossbow. She botches trying to kill a walker. She ends up getting caught in an animal trap.
Yeah,
This has to be...
is it a bear trap or?
No, if it was a bear trap, man, you'd be caught, stuck, nowhere to get it.
Alright, but she hurts her ankle and
No, it was a trap though, so I'm not really too sure what
Daryl has to take care of the walker himself, which he should have probably just done in the first place. But you could argue he's trying to train Beth up to be this, top assassin, so maybe that's his plan there. And he ends up just having to basically carry Beth around like baggage, like extra weight.
Yeah, they have a wee funeral for Herschel on a
random person's fucking grave
in the 1800s. I mean, the 19th century we're talking.
Yeah, this guy died relatively
like
young.
150 years ago.
Although I guess everybody did kind of die young back then. But he was a father just like Herschel.
He was good old Herschel.
I mean, what age did Herschel have fucking Beth at? Let's be real.
Take a seat. Honestly, I need to see...
No, but Herschel looks more like our granddad. Rather than a father.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that when Herschel, in the show, he's mid-60s. Maybe a bit older.
So the actor was definitely older.
Yeah, I'm going to say that. But essentially here, right, let's just wrap up Daryl and Beth for the most part. They find a funeral home. They love life. They're eating jam. They're drinking cola.
It's not theirs. It belongs to someone else, but they're going to take half of their rations anyway, because they're going to leave a thank you note, and that makes it okay.
It's okay. And then Daryl goes to sleep in the coffin.
Yeah, because he's like, it's the comfiest place I'm going to be able to sleep.
Quite funny, isn't it?
We also got a dog with one eye.
We did get that. Bob points out, right, that this Terminus thing, he heard it in the car being broadcast when he was in the car with Tyrese, Daryl, and Michonne. That episode feels like a million years ago, doesn't it? Not remember?
Yeah.
And Daryl was like abusing him because he was a fucking alcoholic. Does the bottle mean more to you than the group, man? The bottle? Daryl's had a wee bit of experience with fucking drinking this season so far, but what happens here, right? I don't want to fucking spend 10 minutes talking about this. Maggie decides to leave and, leaves a message. I didn't want you to die, help me, sort of thing. Then Bob wants to keep going. Sasha's like, no, we can't keep going. No, we need to get to higher ground. I don't know. Maggie then kills a walker, writes on the wall in blood, Glenn, go to Terminus. Maggie, go and get me a Terminus, damn it. Bob sees this and he's like, oh, we're going to catch up to Maggie. They then get to the next town. Sasha then wants to stay in the high building because that's her plan all along. She gets into the building, but Bob just continues walking. But at the time, we didn't actually realise this. We thought Bob was with Sasha. Sasha then, pushes a window. And when she pushes a window, she spots Maggie. Right, and I don't get this scene. Why is Maggie on the floor beside an ice cream truck, sleeping beside walkers in the middle of the day? What was going on?
I'm assuming she was sleeping beside walkers as, a resting to kind of, camouflage and hide in. And be able to get asleep without anybody being a trap. I just thought it was shit. I really did.
But you've buildings.
Yeah, no, but...
Ice cream fan?
Yeah, why not jump inside it and sleep? I mean, surely that would have been better.
Sleeping out in the open with walkers walking about that could literally fall on you. It's not the greatest plan in the world, let's be real here. But...
Well, it wasn't the greatest episode either, so...
Sasha and Maggie deal with the walkers, and it's like, we gotta catch up to Bob. And then, right, they're walking up the tracks, the straightest fucking path you'll ever see, man.
You can see a mile in front of you.
It was like the path to Auschwitz, it was fucking straight as fuck.
But they can't see Bob. Then we get Bob walking, we get his point of view for the path, and then Bob's walking, then the next minute, literally a second later, hey Bob! And he turns around, we've got Maggie... And we have Sasha there. And it's like, how the hell did they catch up to Bob but not see Bob until they were literally about, 50 feet behind Bob? It makes no fucking sense.
A freight train could have sneaked up on Bob here. And run him over.
I mean, for all we know, a walker could have sneaked up on Bob and just bit him again on the bandage because he was totally unaware of his surroundings.
He was. And that wraps up these guys, right?
And that's it. They just head to Terminus.
Head to Terminus. But we go back to Daryl and Beth. Oh no, the dog has brought some friends. The walkers, they want some of that pedigree, don't they?
Yeah, so the Daryl goes to let the dog in. It's like, hey, he's giving one last chance. But it's not the dog, it's walkers at the door. And again, it's like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. We haven't seen any walkers, right, in forever here. Yet, all of a sudden, we've got about 20 trying to burst through the front door. And why did they know to go to the front door?
Now, the only thing I think this house is actually a trap house for the group that's kidnapped Beth. I think the dog was. I think that house being.
You think it's a trap house and they lure people here so walkers can get them, or they? What do you mean?
No, so they can kidnap people. I think that no, because that. Why else would the house be completely clean and stocked up with supplies and shit? And like have all these traps outside. And why else would the walkers just randomly have appeared? And then she gets kidnapped pretty much straight away.
So you think the people that kidnapped Beth brought the walkers to this house?
Well, see, I think that's what they originally intended for when they writ this. But going the way it goes in season 5, this would scream Terminus, this house, but it doesn't scream police officers.
So you think
in Atlanta.
you think it was? You think they went through all the hassle of getting fucking walkers to the front door just so they could kidnap one person?
I don't know.
Why wouldn't they just go in with their guns and kidnap 2 people without 20 walkers?
What purpose is Daryl? I think Daryl's going to be a police
Oh,
officer.
it's a safe house, but they're going to let 20 fucking dirty, stinking walkers walk in through the front door.
Come on, man.
No, it wasn't. This isn't a safe house.
So you think it's just by luck this is what happened and then Beth just got kidnapped?
Look,
on
it's
their
The
own?
Walking Dead. It's fucking shite. You'll not see a single walker for like a 10-mile radius, and then boom, all of a sudden you've got 20 million at the front door. I think The Walking...
So do you think Beth just got kidnapped pure by the fact that she got onto that road and a car pulled up and took her?
Aye, I believe so. I believe it was just chance.
Just by chance?
Aye.
Right, anyway, Daryl...
No, so you think someone set up the whole thing? And they pinned Daryl in that house with all the walkers so they could kidnap Beth?
Potentially, yes.
So they knew that Daryl was somehow going to take them downstairs and Beth was going to run out and they
For
were
some reason, I've got it in the back of my mind that is why it happened, and I've got a feeling they explain that to Beth later on.
I've got a feeling you're talking shite.
Talking shite, but that is pretty much where the episode ends. Daryl meets the Claimers, right?
Yeah, Daryl tries to chase after. We get a scene where he takes them into like the basement and he uses like trolleys to try and block the walkers. He kills about 10.
If this was a red shirt, he wouldn't have walked out.
Nah, he'd have been dead straight away. He climbs underneath the trolleys, and I mean, at this point, it's like if Daryl Dixon can be trapped in a fucking room and then kill about 10 and then climb underneath this trolley and then kill another 3 while going up the stairs to escape. I mean, already we're at the point now where walkers offer 0 threat. If you are an established character, walkers now offer no threat whatsoever. And I think that's one of the worst things they can do. I think when you've got a zombie show, the zombies, I'm not saying they need to be the main threat, but they need to be a threat. And they're just not anymore. And they haven't really been, I would argue, since season 2, to be fair. Now, I mean, we've seen them being used in season 3, and we can argue that they were difficult. But I mean, look how easily they took the prison and they cleaned out the entire... The walkers aren't a threat anymore. They're just not.
No. Obviously, people will still die of walkers, but the horror element is gone.
Yeah,
like Daryl being in this house, right? It should be horror. I mean, it's a funeral home. He's surrounded.
But
let's
be honest, right?
It should be horror.
As much as we say we prefer the earlier seasons are massively flawed as well for walkers just appearing out of nowhere. Like they are. Maybe not so much season 1. But, like, the premiere of season 2, like, look how the walkers just randomly appear out of nowhere.
On the highway?
And they all seem to be walking in one group, one straight line. Like, where the fuck did they come from? And then, like, in the finale, it's like, where are those walkers coming from? I don't want to hear about some helicopter. I don't want to hear about that pish. Nope. You can at least kind of argue that in season 1, when the walkers sneak duck.
What the fuck are you on about?
When the walkers sneaked up on the camp, I mean, you can argue maybe it was Glenn's car that brought them back. You know
Aye.
You can make a claim for that, but I don't know. I mean, since then we've just seen like large numbers of fucking walkers just appear from fucking nowhere.
Yeah, but
I mean, even when you look at the prison. Like when you look at Too Far Gone, I get it, they're shooting, right, and they're gunfire and whatnot, but look how quickly the prison gets overrun.
Yeah.
Look how slow walkers are. And how the fuck did walkers just happen to get there straight away?
Yeah, it is. Oh, but they tend to travel in herds, dude.
Yeah, so
right. Joe's group, the Claimers, it's just a bunch of redneck hillbilly crackers, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Whackers.
Whackers. Claim. I think the claim gimmick's a bit embarrassing.
I'm claiming that jacket.
I didn't hear you claim that double bed, so I'm gonna choke you out and take it. What? What's going on?
Really, you can't claim something on your own.
Someone needs to hear it.
A claim is only a claim, really, if you can say it in front of somebody.
Yeah, but like Joe is the leader. Like, say he was lying on that bed. Is that guy going to go to him here? I didn't hear you claim the bed, Joe.
Well, I mean, according to them, that's how it works. Like
Joe's in the middle of taking it here. Didn't he claim to take the toilet seat, Joe? Is Joe going to have to nip his shit and just stand up?
Well, do you think because Joe's the leader, he's got unlimited claiming ability? Do you think he needs to claim?
Maybe.
Anyway, I claim this episode was shit.
Glenn finds the terminus sign.
Yeah, Glenn finds the terminus.
This episode was dog meat. Honestly, it probably would have been better without Maggie and Sasha. I actually didn't mind the Bob thing at the beginning, but I think another episode, honestly, dedicated to like Beth being kidnapped and Daryl meeting the Claimers.
Am I wrong to think that Maggie's just goes downhill for him and doesn't get any better?
No, I don't think you are.
I think our best season was season 2.
Yep. Well, let's be real, like, I mean, Glenn will be dead soon enough, and it's depressing mode for then.
I think everybody's best season is probably their earliest fucking season. Although I would say Shane's best season was season 2, like.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the reality, but I mean, this episode...
Maybe Dale's best
still
season.
Got a 3.5. I'm going to give this episode a 4.
I'll give it a 3.
There we go.
3.5. I didn't think it was any good. This second half of season 4 has been shite. And you know what? Maybe people rate season 5 so highly because it is coming off the back of a group of episodes that just were not good.
True. The reason I rate this high and still, I think the introduction of the Claimers to Daryl and like Beth being kidnapped is just way better than anything that happened in Still. But I think Still as an overall episode is better. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense.
That makes sense. Anyway, guys, we'll be back very soon. The next one, Lizzie, Mika, Tyrese.
I tell you what, though, what if this episode was solely about Bob, Sasha, and Maggie?
0.
0, guys.
Just like the packet of Maltesers, guys. A big fucking 0. But until next time, peace.